Yeah.
Right, which is kind of cool. But we'll go out and play some Frisbee. King, you want to go play some Frisbee? Let's go do it. Let's go. Oh, wait. Let's do this officially. Let's do it officially. Boom. So King and I are going to go do some flat work. Let's go, handsome. Come on, Superman. King. Right, this here versus this. And you can see him shift. Come on, right? You can see him shift each time. And that shift is, it might be the thing that is necessary for you to get your dog to flip. Yes, good man. Aus. Aus, yes. I think I got all my shit now. Woohoo. Oh, you got hosed. You got hosed. There are only 2. Good. Make it out. Hey. Ooh. Oh, fucking funny. CupCake, I can't reach it. What a good co-host. Wow. What? Oh my gosh. CupCake, I can't reach it. Yeah. Whoa, look at it. Yes. Frisbee is about the stuff between the tricks, right? You have 36 tricks in a freestyle routine, maybe, if you're lucky. It's a lot of tricks, right? So 36, 32, 36, right? That's pretty packed freestyle routine. Each trick takes anywhere from half a second to 1.5 seconds, right? The actual trick, yeah? So what are you doing for the other minute 30, minute 45, right? All the stuff happens between the tricks. Go. Is that what we do here, CupCake? Ouse. Go. Ouse. Yes, ouse. Up. Ouse. Yes. Good. Ouse. Through. Yes, ouse. Yes. Badass. Go. Through and flip. Good. Ouse. Go. Ouse. Yes, ouse. Up. Ouse. Good. Right there. Yes, good. Good. Ouse. Through. Yes, ouse. Yes. Badass. Hey. Well, looks like CupCake is doing some work here. What's going on? It's Sunday. We're here. Chilling in the dojo. Not much going on tonight. We will be doing some slacker training. How to handle your dog without any work. That's the idea. Be taking questions and re-questions. If you guys have something you want to see or talk about, hit me up. I'll totally do that. So, yeah. Here we are. Hope you guys are doing good. And grab me some cookies over here. Chill. It is some fine work though, brother. Fine work. Inside out, you gonna wear it like that. Till you figure things out now. I spend my life just singing in this bar.
Be the star that you think I am.
Little Pat McCune going.
That I think I am.
You guys down south, check him out at the Floribama bar.
You say I'm crazy. Well, hold
He's actually, I don't know, not a friend, but April knows him.
like a normal
They did some, CupCake is ready. They did some shows together.
I spend my life just singing in this bar. Night after night.
Yeah, theory. Get them both completely solid, and then hope. Right? We had 15 to 20 dogs at the Pajama Factory. We had leash walk 15 to 20 dogs every day. We lived in the city. We wound up pretty solid with that. Not working them on that is pretty solid. When you work them, they run back and forth and run into each other. It's just a big cluster. It's terrible. So you want to do your work single dog and then have just nice rules for the double dog walk. I used to walk 7, 8 dogs at once in the city. I don't know how to tell you to do it though. You don't want to work on it, like give cookies and shit while they're out there. And you, so within positive training, within positive training, there's a line, and shit just doesn't happen here. And that line is, it's pretty necessary to have dialed in if you're going to do something like walk 2 dogs on 1 lead. Right? Don't do it, Epi. That's my seat. That's my seat, Epi, not yours. Up, off, off. Epi, off. Off. I know, CupCake was there, right? Yeah, I know. Slow the roll, up. Chill. It's okay. It's okay. I see you, CupCake. Yeah, so when I walk multiple dogs on a lead, I shorten the lead. It's a super short lead, so I slide down 3 or 4 feet, and then I hold up higher than that, and they're able to separate below my hand. And then when we go potty or whatever, I give them the whole lead. But I do choke up on the leash, right? So I slide down both of them so that there's a little V from my hand, giving them about 18, 20 inches to separate. And then it's important to like drive the dog to not be wishy-washy on leading your pack that you got there. All right, so we have a little housekeeping to take care of. Let me see here. My old ass eyes. Move that over here, if I can. All right, get rid of those network cameras. There we go. This is from a few days ago. Gonna run through our recent events. Maybe. This was all working before. Easy, easy. Epi, that's a job of the co-host. That is the job of the co-host. Yeah. Let's see. That should be working. Chill, Epi. Chill. I hope I'm online. Am I online still, guys? Yeah, that's kind of similar to what I got going on, Byron. I don't have the clip. I just manually do that. Huh. We're gonna wind up with a real bevy of, there we go. Yeah.
Elysia Beach, $30 for the most
Go
recent live stream.
Elysia.
Great learning.
Alright, alright. And then Paige should be showing up. I'm gonna double and triple up on these, I bet.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup. It becomes the cup. You put water into a pot.
Ooh, that should be
it becomes the
shorter.
water. You put in a teapot. It becomes the teapot. Now water can flow, or it can crash. Be water, my friend.
All right. And then we got,
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup.
And that's going to be shorter.
You put water into a
Should be shorter on the next one, actually.
It becomes the teapot. Now water can flow, or it can crash.
Ooh.
Be water, my friend.
And George. There you go, George. P-Vibe Blue Kicks coming your way. And then hopefully this will be the short version.
I said, empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. Up to speed. We have some subscribers. Thanks a bunch. Venice Flicks, Regina, ATKR, Jason Tucker, Hannah, Judith. Super awesome to have you on board. I hope you're here today for Slacker Sunday. Looks like there's a couple of slackers over there. I have not been, all depends, all depends. Depends on where we're doing it and how we're doing it. It's not, dude, stop. If you want to go off, Epi, off, go do dog stuff, do whatever you want. It's like I'm going to jump right back up there and whine. I'm going to jump right back up there and whine. Yep. Yeah, CupCake's multiple is sufficient for usage. It's not. So I was working on this in the process philosophy of play. My next book. My book. It's 70 pages so far, and it's I think going to be really really big, long book. But I was thinking about how usage of skills is done, and so for the usage of skills, it's not nearly good enough. Sagepaw, it's not nearly good enough. I want to firm it up in a bunch of different contexts, just the discrete multiple, and then have it available as more of a concept than a behavior, as a behavioral fact rather than a behavior. But yeah, I've been doing a lot of thinking on that. That concrescent cube, Byron, it keeps getting crazier. It keeps getting crazier. The connection between the seeking system and Whitehead's concrescence process is really wild. It's really crazy. And the physical and mental pole aspect of behavior are pretty awesome. it's really nice to have, well, you have two new tools with that, right? So here, I'll throw it up. You have two new tools with that. You have the mental pole, which is essentially the dog's ability to think abstractly, right? And then you have the physical pole, which essentially throws the classical condition into our training, right? So, look at that. So here we have the concrescence process. This is illustrated in the book quite a bit, and it goes through the whole process. The process like rolls out. This is really late in the process. This is like the final stage. So what's really cool about this is the physical pole, which is the classically conditioned state, being represented and built into the beginning of the behavior, which is like the way it goes. Everybody knows that Skinner rocks and Pavlov rules. So Pavlov, the classical condition, the physical pole, dictates the realm of acceptable decision making. And that physical pole, classical conditioned tone is the subjective tone. And Epi has a subjective tone. He's feeling a little stressed right now. He's got his shit together, but it's not okay, right? I have a subjective tone. I'm totally cool. I'm a little on the spot for being on a camera, but it's no big deal, right? And that's the physical pole. That's where we start our behavior. And then over here we have the mental pole, which is where where the dog puts together the plan to do the thing. When you give your dog a cue from a long way away and they're running in, they're planning that moment to moment. When they're tracking a disc, there's this moment to moment plan of check, 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 check the target, am I on? Check the target, am I on? Check the target, am I on? And part of that is physical over here on the physical pole, and part of that is mental on the mental pole. And to have both of those poles within dog training is frickin' cool, man. And how you do the skill dictates how well your mental pole operates, or how flexible and how high the IQ is, let's say, of the dog handler team. And then on the physical pole, you have how high is the physiological and emotional tone. And it's friggin' awesome. But that in the seeking system, the seeking system is engaged when the prehensions come in. You give the cue, and boom, everything is kind of locked in to the physical feelings of what's happening here, all of this stuff, right? That prehension pulls in the last time I was doing this, and the emotions and feelings and whatnot of that. And so how we actually do the skills is part of what creates the subjective tone, the classical condition of the dog at the beginning. So we can go and change the process of how we do things. Just do it in a different manner, different modality, different type of cookie, different intensity of interaction while we're doing the skills. And we can change the emotions and feelings, these affects, and we can also change the eternal objects, the discrete, abstract experiences from the past that went really well that we're using as our potential reality. Right? We give the cue, dog prehends this stuff, oh yeah, I feel great, right? Seeking system is like, sweet, let's play. And then we read the situation, and the mental pole is assembled with the ideas and experiences from the past, as like a blueprint. And the dog puts together that blueprint, and then the handler triggers a skill. And that's happening all the time, over and over and over and over again. And so we get to set the dog's subjective tone, which is their classically conditioned state, throughout the session. This classically conditioned state, the subjective tone, runs the critter, dictates the realm of acceptable ideas and concepts that will be even entertained by the dog, limited by the subjective form. The mental pole forms, and then we have a subjective aim of what are we doing here? What is this thing that we're doing? And then we do it. Anyway, super stoked about that. I can't get past how the things are hooking up and sliding together. And flow theory, the theory of flow psychology is really a good fit in there as well. So I've been freaking out about that. Yep, I'm determined. It's a big deal though, Byron. Being able, so when dog training, you guys might know what I'm talking about. You're always afraid of conflating the classical and physical, or the classical and operant, right? The classical can do, you know, I don't want to tell my dog that this is about behavior if it's about adjusting your emotion. And I don't want to tell you that it's about your emotion if I'm working on your behavior. And it's scary because you make those mistakes and then everything's all messed up. And it's a false choice due to the fallacy of misplaced concreteness, right? The structure of behaviorism, setting off the emotions and the affects and the mental, all the things that confound repeatability and reliability within data, right? That stuff has to be pushed out. And as soon as you push that out, your model doesn't include that. And so we have these very concrete items, this is the way that it is, and yet there's a whole piece of reality that's outside of the model, right? And so we're forced to do these weird things like pretend that the classical condition and the operant condition need to be separated. And you can't do that, dude. It can't happen. The dog that comes to you to work is the dog you have. That's that, right? You can adjust the classical condition, but don't trigger operant. You trigger operant, you'll get in trouble. You'll have weird things happen, and you fucking will, dude, and you will. But as soon as the handler and the dog, right, and not even, the dog doesn't have to be conscious of it, the dog just has to be conscious of the process in general. As soon as the handler has this idea that there's a physical pole and a mental pole, and the way that I'm going to do this skill is how I'm going to shape your classical condition, right? And to have it so like clearly laid out within the map and the process makes it like a function that you have to go through. By the way, I knew that before, right? But it wasn't at all clear or concrete, or, you know, I had no way to really think about it and try and leverage it and set up a plan for it. It was a really abstract thing, not moored or attached to anything. And now that I have this idea of the physical and mental pole, super awesome. The seeking system, that's the latest thing that freaked me out. I started in on Jaak Panksepp's affective neuroscience. So the seeking system is is the search for opportunity. When we get an emotional affect or when we're bored, the seeking system engages, right? And the seeking system goes out to find something to do, right? It's why you have like kind of that weird zombie behavior of critters that are bored. They walk around and inspect the place over and over. You reach in, ladies reach in their purse and grab and look in your purse for what's missing. Looking the third time in the drawer, right? All of those things, they're not logical, and you know that it's not in there, and yet you do it anyway. That's the seeking system. And the seeking system is the first thing engaged with emotional affect. And so the seeking system gets engaged with prehension within this model. I'm going to pull up the thing again. Oops, I can't reach it, Epi. Thank you. That was terrific. Within this model, so let me pull that up. Boom. So when something happens or the cue is given, the dog, team, handler all prehend the situation. We grasp what's happening, right? And then all of our past experiences, the feelings and emotions from them, what's happening right now, feelings and emotions, previous reps, unsatisfied successes, super important one, and our failures. They create the physical pull and the subjective tone, which is a classical condition. The seeking system is engaged, right? So the seeking system is engaged per these affects. In the seeking system, affect is the response or the feeling that the emotion gives you, right? Or the thing that causes that feeling or emotion. I guess we can kind of look at it in both ways. So when we get the subjective tone, the seeking system looks for one of the other 6 primary behavioral affects in the mammalian brain: play, rage, lust, fear, panic, grief, care, and seeking. Yeah, so there's 6 extras, right? So the seeking system starts at the physical pole, and then it goes to the mental pole in order to grab that affect. So those 6 other affects, they're not like the seeking system. They're not, and this is my assertion. This is my assertion, and I'm making this assertion because the maps all line up. Right, each of these maps line up, and it maps to my experience in dog training and being a heretic for fucking 20 years, right? So the seeking system is engaged. Let's say it's a fear response, or it's a scary prehension, right? The seeking system is engaged and goes seeking the answer. The mental pole is where the other affects kind of hang out. And real deep midbrain, hindbrain stuff, really, really early. All of these emotional circuits are really deep in the brain. They're not happening on our frontal cortex. They're not happening in our big brain. They're not happening in our human brain. They're happening in our reptile brain. Right? And so, this stuff is instant, and it's really deep, powerful motivation. It's the stuff that makes life move, right? And that's Panksepp's, Pankseppian affective neuroscience. That's Pan. And that is his gig. So the seeking system gets sent a fear prehension, a spread of everything that came in, and the general prehension or the general tone is fearful, guarded, something like that. the seeking system is going to go out and get and entertain and activate the fear system. And these are notated in all caps, right? And it'll grab the fear system, which is at the mental pole. And that is going to choose which eternal objects, which concepts, facts, behaviors, and processes from our past that have been seen through that we know are going to be leveraged to try to solve this problem. And that's freaking cool, dude. That is super freaking cool. And it does. I mean, it completely fits the MO of both systems. That seeking impulse is really, like, it can't be thwarted. If we lose seeking and play, if we lose those systems, the critter dies. If you're not allowed to seek or play, the critter dies. Those are really important emotional affects. And what play does is play, and good dog training works the seeking system, right? The dog is trying to figure out how to get the cookie, not getting the cookie, right? Getting the cookie, you know, everything's about the cookie. It's a mad scramble. I don't even remember, how did I get this big cut on my side? I don't even remember what happened, right? If we're working through the process and having the dog do the thing in order to get the cookie, where the cookie is the achievement, then the dog knows exactly what cut his side and will not run into that fence ever again. Be very careful around that fence, right? And yeah, I think I can make that happen much more frequently with this model than with the falsely concrete model of click and cookie, of the single thing. The language is getting a little tough, I have to say. Trying not to use the term reinforcement is, try not doing that in dog. It's not in the book, by the way. I'm 70 pages in and reinforcement is not in the book. And it makes sense, I think. All right. Yep, lust. Yep. Lust for the cookie, right? And I do believe that lust is engaged in the cookie process with some dogs, for sure. Juicy, the Red Merle Aussie that we had from our original pack, from the original P-Vibe pack, she was so freaking lusty over cookies. It was gross. Like, she was completely raptured, like a Dionysian cult, like a Bacchae cult, right? If you guys haven't, you should probably, I recommend the Iron Druid Chronicles. They're really good. They're really good. There's the god Bacchus, the god of wine. They have like a battle against him, a running battle that happens over the course of a couple books. And his coven, the people that are afflicted with that primordial lust, they're pretty funny. The whole thing is pretty crazy. And I do think dogs get very lusty over cookies. And of course, that we have bitches in season here right now. That there's everyone winds up, not everyone, someone of the 5-6 intact boys we have here winds up losing their brain every time one of these girls comes into season. It's funny. But again, I do think that lust thing does engage on cookies with certain dogs or with certain types of dogs or types of cookies. So yeah, I've been cranking that out. I'm almost ready to have, like Byron, I think I'm almost ready to have class members read it. Antonis and Giorgio, I've sent a copy to Alicia. They've been checking it out. But I want to get it closed. Like, dude, I'm rewriting it, I'm reading it, and it's like you can't, it's impenetrable. You can't understand what I'm saying. And each time I work through it, it gets better. So I'm getting closer to having it make sense. John, I don't know which, and John has a copy as well. I'll give John the new one here. Because it's not the same book as it was yesterday. Yep. And if John, if you want it on iBooks, I can send it to you on iBooks too. It comes through pretty solid in the EPUB reader. Oh, watch out! Almost dropped it, Epi. So I actually am working the dogs here right now, right? I am doing nothing. Everything's settled down to something that's approaching what I want. I captured the CupCake thing behind me while she was laying there tired. Sweet. Dropped the cookie on her with no marker. That while. No marker on that. I want to get things a little more in this. I want to set the subjective tone of this room to more like this, right? And I'm gonna try and work through that with the play process that I have. I'm calling each one of those a play, by the way. So, yep. If you guys have anything, I'll be happy to do something. I think Sage Paw wanted to see a multiple. I'll do a multiple with CupCake sometime. Yep, I would like it to remain really chill. Since I started feeding the dogs, like 7:30 before the stream, right? And give them an hour and a half, and then we hang out here for like an hour or a half hour before we really get working. And it really changed the intensity in here. It dropped it down a little bit, quite a bit. That was pretty nice. So immediately, the subjective tone was changed, right? The classically conditioned state was changed, which was awesome. What I'd like to do now is capitalize and experiment with trying to get my work to reflect a better subjective tone, right? And I don't think it's a super easy get, because we're trying to play, and we're trying to be excited, and we're trying to be enticing, and the whole thing. We want to be the game and be exciting, but we also want things to be under control and, not batshit, right? And it's a fine line. And before, before the process philosophy, I didn't have any framework to lock me down or to give me things to shoot at, right? So within what we're working on in class and what I'm working on in the process of play is to get those things lined up so that we can make intelligent decisions and we can just like shade our training or do our training in a particular tone, right? Maybe readjust criteria and set our subjective aim, our goal, a little better, right? And wind up nailing the classical condition, fucking setting that up perfect while we're working good dog training. That would be terrific, right? I mean, I would like that. I would like that a lot. Right now, it's kind of methodological and like a black box or a magic item. I don't really know how it works, right? And I'm pretty excited because I think I know how this works. Like operant is the mental pole, classical is the physical pole, right? The cue is the physical pole that activates the mental pole. The trigger is the mental pole becoming physical. So like the trigger is everything from the time, boom, we do it, right? Until the dog lines up for the next cue. That whole time, we're on the hook. We're on the hook right after the trigger. We are working the dog until the next cue. And we're working the dog not with any trick in mind, but with the idea to be quick and efficient to repeat for our training, right? And that is wild and crazy. And anyway, I'm really struggling with this. Struggling in a good way. The physical and mental pole, having them within a behavior is pretty awesome. I'm super, super excited for it. And anyone who wants to know about that, you can hook up with us on Patreon.
Do or do not. There is no try.
And you can get into the Phenomenology of Play group, which is on our site. I'm sharing a bunch of this stuff there as it develops. So patrons get access to classes, right? Patrons get access to classes and access to me. You're not going to help that beat. Don't do it. Get up there. And they get other goodies. We meet in class 3 times a week. You can make one or all 3 of them. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. Grift link over. Let's see. I like the tone in here, guys. I like the tone in here. I'm fixing to break it. All right. So another thing, was working on the standing multiple, right? I did some work on it on Friday with CupCake and it really fell apart. think it was super interesting. I was talking about how it fell apart in class before it did. Fortunately, I was able to recover and have like a decent finish on that. And I didn't lose my shit while we were doing it, right? So what I am attempting to do with the multiple is to bingo, and boom. What I'm trying to do is to get these concepts here: the pedestal, the multiple, and then the stand, and then the pedestal multiple, stand on pedestal, and then the standing multiple. They're all the same root concept, right? So the pedestal is duration, do it until. The multiple is catch and drop or catch and give. The stand is do it until you're told to stop. The pedestal multiple is to drop and give, catch, drop, and give, or catch and drop, or catch and give on a localized object. The stand on pedestal is the stand on a localized object. Both of those are putting pressure on the skill. The pedestal multiple is setting it up so that the multiple is stable, right? And if the multiple is stable, when I do it in the stand, it'll be easier because the multiple's stable. When I do the stand on the pedestal, I'm making the stand, I'm over testing or overbuilding the stand so that it can handle the variation of the catch thing when I go to the standing multiple. But here's the thing that I'm really interested in, and this is something else I was writing about last night. When we're working the dog, we can rely on the process that was used. So, and this is, I'm doing this very purposefully and have for some time. With the pedestal, I teach up, yes, cookie, 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 off, and that is on, add value, off. And that's where I start. And I get that until the dog starts to wait for the off cue. And you can tell they get excited when the off cue is given. At that point in time, I'm going to layer some behaviors on it, right? So what I'm going to do is do eye contact, hand target, spin, twist, sit pretty, stand, cat, things to be done. And then I can call the dog. If the dog is standing, stand, boom, the dog stands on the pedestal. I tell them off, they come off the stand and hold the pedestal. I tell them off, they jump off the pedestal. That's a layered behavior. And we're going to do that in the standing multiple. The dog has to layer.
Sandbox for regular walking.
Yeah, that's what we're talking
Byron,
about.
$6.64. Good stuff.
So the multiple is going to be put in the stand, right? So we're going to have to layer. Once the dog has the idea that we can layer behaviors within duration, then they can do all kinds of things very purposefully. When this went down, this whole sequence, Georgios took 2 weeks and had his dog in a standing multiple that he could spin around and do stuff within, right? And he didn't like pull out all the stops, right? Right? Yeah, it totally does. It totally does. It totally does suck. Boom, 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 boom. Dog drops it and gets down. Georgios just held his hand up. Dog stood up, put disc in hand, right? That's the kind of stuff that happens. So I teach the pedestal that way, right? And then I work the multiple. And I do the juggle where the dog gives it back to me each time. And I do the multiple or the shuffle, talk, 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 talk. The dog drops each time. And I do it in a process. I do one, then the other, and then I enforce the idea that it has to be given or has to be dropped. At first, we do it and get it working. We get on, we add value, and we get off with it, essentially. Like, no joke, it's the same thing there. And then I do it with give. And then I play games between the two, right? And then I do the stand. I go on, add value, off. I layer a couple behaviors. Now the dog is like, this fucking is just like the pedestal, right? Sweet. And the pedestal is my duration, like, concept setter. It's where I set duration, the idea of duration. It's very clear, black and white criteria. And so the dog learns the stand like the pedestal. And the next time I do the thing, yes, cookie, 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 off, the dog goes, hey, bingo, this is duration. I need to hold that. And it makes it far more likely. I don't want to say reinforcement anymore, guys. This is a fucking dumb word. It's a really dumb word. It's made us very, very dumb. It's really trashed the brains of people who are trying to get behavior. It's a clerical process, man. It's like it's the equation in the Excel spreadsheet. Reinforcement. It's an equation in the Excel spreadsheet. And that's what we walk around thinking is motivating our dogs. It's terrible. It's freaking terrible. And that is all over the dog training map and landscape. It's a wonder we get anything accomplished at all. So anyway, what I'm going to do, what happened the other day is I thought I was here on Friday. I thought, we'll just go up, we'll work the pedestal multiple. Fuck yeah, just do that. And then, maybe I'll do stand on the pedestal today on Sunday, and we'll have this shit next week. And I was like, the plan was made. The right side of the Cynefin framework, the right side of the DiscDog universe was unanimous consent that was going to happen. But actually, I got on the pedestal and it went shit. And so she's got a mechanical problem from, she likes it when the discs kind of get away from her. She likes that novelty. And I have avoided that, right? I've avoided that and haven't done much work on it. And you can avoid it, super easy. It's not hard. It happens a couple times a week, it's not a big deal. But if I'm not handling the dog and making it happen, I'm in trouble. And I don't like to be on the hook like that. And those things happen without you recognizing it. Like, next thing you know, you'll be at the mercy of some dumb thing you're doing in your training. So anyway, I go to put her on this pedestal thinking it's going to go super well, right? And the mechanical problems just jump to the forefront. That's the other thing I think pretty important about this, like setting up concepts and going back and working through them. You get thrown a freaking curveball like this. And it just puts a big red neon sign around an area of the game that you've neglected, right? And I'm pretty happy about this. This is going to be nice. So I'm going to try and work this with the idea to create a really solid physical pull and subjective tone for her to do the work, first and foremost, right? First and foremost, it never does. It's the actual world, right? The dog is never where you want him to be, all that stuff. That's why it's so important to do all of your work from the trigger until the next cue. That's where all the work is. That's where play is ruined, by the way. That's where everybody ruins the play. Because that shit isn't clean and you're not ready, and then it takes me 10 seconds to set up for the next play, and now the dog is sniffing, and now we're fucked, right? The trigger happens, you get your shit together, you pick up the dog, you move the dog, you lock the dog in, you give the cue. When it goes like that, the game is really hard to be flawless. It's hard to not be flawless when you're really handling and on track. But I'm going to try and set the subjective tone of the physical pull to something nice for working. As far as the mental pull and the finish, right? The subjective aim towards the mental pull and the finish is going to be to get the criteria. To get the criteria and to avoid the shit, right? That's going to be my subjective aim. I am going to be focused on that. And the intent is to do this and reproduce it and create beneficial eternal objects for all subsequent dropping and localization skills, right? And if I do my job here and just get good drops, good gives, and a quality subjective tone, I will set the future of all reps of that to a better subjective tone and an initial prehension. And we're going to practice using these things, the drop, the teeth on, the balance on the pedestal, don't fall off, teeth off, attention, patience, trigger will all happen on that pedestal repeatedly. So we're going to get really isolated, nice ideas of how that shit works. And that's my goal. That is my subjective aim, right? I'm not going to be thinking about next week's fucking standing multiple. And it should be next week, guys, right? Like, not joking. It should be super fast. This shit should layer up and the dog should have it. And I won't have to fight and hold her up there with the gives or anything like that. She'll do the thing. Fingers crossed. But again, that's going to be my focus, to get good reps of the concepts themselves in a fashion that's going to set a nice subjective tone for the future. On Friday, I identified that putting the pedestal up higher, right? Putting the pedestal up higher creates a more dangerous subjective tone. Her number of decisions has shrunk. She now just can't fly around and jump off, fall off, who cares, right? Now, wait a minute, right? By tightening up the physical end, I restricted her at the mental pull. She's doing more mental pull work because the physical subjective tone is bumped up. It's super important, I think. I think it's fucking great, right? And then if I drop the pedestal down, or I do it on a mat, let's say, I've taken the pressure off of the physical pull. And now the subjective tone is woohoo, like carefree, right? Now the skill becomes the mental pull, taking up the slack and handling all of don't fall off, keep your shit together, all of that. That's mental and abstract because it's not necessary. You follow me? Do you see how that the physical and mental pole are always like balancing and interacting and opposing each other. Or the physical pole is set and grounding to the mental pole. The mental pole is set and grounding to the physical pole. You can look at it in a bunch of ways, but they're interrelated. And this is that stuff with classical or operant that made us do weird mental things to even think about this. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the pedestal with layering and the targets. I'm going to try and keep the tone of the game at a real comfortable, good working level while playing, right? I'm going to attempt to line up my subjective aim to just getting the criteria and to just keeping this easygoing tone with success. And from that, I'm going to get the experience of having done it in that subjective tone and the discrete concepts that will help her do it in the standing multiple. Here we go. Let's see. These will be quick sessions because I don't want the dogs to go ape shit. All right, I think that'll work. A little further that way. CupCake off. Yes, good girl. It's really close to epi. Subjective tone is going to be hot. Ready? I'm going to use that. Right? I'm going to use that. As long as it's not too overwhelming, I should get much more reserved, much more thoughtful work out of CupCake, right? Just with that hanging around. And I'm going to see what happens with that. Ready? Mine. Dude. Mine. Yes. Mine. Yes. Awesome. Yeah. Oh, dude. Go do dog stuff. CupCake, yes. Mine. Good. See, we're getting epi zip. We're getting a little hot here. And I don't want that. Mine. Yes. Yes. Twist. Yes. Mine. Yes. Mine. Yes. Spin. Yes. Good. Mine. Yes. Mine. Yes. Good. Mine. Yes. Awesome. Off. Yes. Good girl. Great work. Good job. King, go do dog stuff. All right. I like that. I like that a lot more. Right? I like that a lot more than what went down the other night. Right? We got a little high. She fell off a few times. That's totally cool, right? Her falling off, I want her to have experience falling off so she can recover. I don't want to hold her up there and make her do it. That doesn't help, right? I want her to keep her shit together up there, right? And if she comes off, then she's got to get back on. It's a pain in her ass, right? Hey, Cheese, good to see you. I'll send you a copy of the book. I'll send you a copy of the book. And Byron, if you want one, you can have one, but it's going through. It's kind of close now. I can maybe send you one. I don't want to send it to just anyone because it's cuckoo, right? It's cuckoo, and cheese is weird. But I'm completely freaked out by the overlap of the concrescent play idea, Whitehead's concrescence process, and the seeking system. It's frickin' bonkers. It's totally bonkers. What's up, CupCake? I see you. I see you. Yeah, you think something's gonna happen, don't you? Nothing's happening, guys. Nothing's happening. Yep. Well, you gotta keep it in the group, right? Gotta keep it in the group. So Cheese and I chat quite a bit. He produces content and is a poor small business owner where we commiserate online all the time. Super funny. So, not bad. I'll take that over the session on Friday night for sure. I'll probably do another one, and maybe I'll do the stand, right? I will do the stand. I'll do the stand and see if I can't get a nice subjective tone and classical conditioned state with success coming out of the stand behavior. CupCake, yes, good girl. Stand, yes. Off, yes, good girl. Stand, yes. Yes. Off. Off. Yes. Wow, that was great. We're done here. Go to dog stuff. Holy cow. Oh, she was out of frame on the other camera, huh? Was she in frame on either of them? Did that work for either? That would suck. That would totally suck. That was fucking perfect. Stand. Yes. Yes. Off. Yes. Good. Chill. Good. Stand. Yes. Touch. Yes. Off. Yes. Good. Stand. Yes. You're right. Yes. Oops. Off. Good girl. Stand. Yes. 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 Ooh. Off. Yes. Good girl. Go do dog stuff. Whoa. Had to go Hollywood. Had to go Hollywood. It's all right. She's super solid with that. She's super solid. All right. See you, Sage Paw. All right. So. Woo. Let's see, what do we got? The CupCake cam. Oh, I can put on the hero, dude. Yeah. Put on the hero, dude. Brought to you by Hero Disc USA. On my face. I am a member of Team Hero again this year. It's exciting. Got to make a disc order, Byron. Gonna have to get that together. Totally gonna have to get that together. Oh yeah, the CupCake. What? Wow, you really are coming along there. You're doing a good job. You really are. Oh, he took your spot, didn't he? It's not fair. It's not fair. Need to do some of this pedestal work with, I know, right? Never is enough hours in the day. Need to do some of this pedestal work with King, but we'll save that. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow or Tuesday with King. So I want to keep this pretty chill. I want to try and make sure we get right. Yep. Yep. Well, UpDiff is finishing up, right? UpDiff probably finished up. Everyone left the banquet and everything probably a half hour ago. Wonder how everybody did. Uh-oh. I almost banned Byron. Ban him. All right, I don't know, man. Let's see, we can turn on some music. Where are we at? Good, good. Good for Sal. It's a long trip. It's a long trip. It's always better when you do well. What you doing, CupCake? I see you. All right, so what the hell was I going to do? Play music. Antonis. Is the music soft? Should be even softer now. Kind of think I want it there. My headphones are pretty nice, and so the audio that comes through, I don't get my voice audio. I don't know how the differential is. See, that sounds loud. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering if there's some Game of Thrones going on up there. You know, with CupCake, and April's got a couple dogs. We are like right in the McNabbs, and CupCake put us in Game of Thrones proper. The world of Westeros, right? All right. What you doing, CupCake? There you go. There you go. That's what you should do. like nothing. Mine. Yes. Take. Yes. Mine. Yes. Yes. Good girl. Uh-oh. What happened? Mine. Yes. Take. Good. Chill. Excuse me. Take. Chill. Excuse me. Chill. Yep, that's what I'm trying to get. Look at her. Wow. Mine. Yes, take. Good work. Off. Yes, go do dog stuff. Wow. Wow. Gee, amazing. Yeah. Super interesting. The taller pedestal and the pedestal work. You're probably going to notice that CupCake, like last week, she would have taken out that pedestal, right? She would have knocked it down like Epi, when Epi jumps off and he wants something, when he throws the stool, right? Get that shit out of here. She's much softer on all of her pedestals from that work that we've done, which is pretty nice. Yeah. The layering also, I think, was pretty helpful. She seems more stable. She does. She's bucking up. Weather girl, the Strom from Chicago. If you guys, any of you guys watch Married with Children, the weather girl, she's coming. She's coming, Jeppy. She's coming, Jeppy. She's coming for your job. Hey, hey, hey. Chill. Good work. Go do dog stuff. Come on, fat man who sings the blues. Sit properly. There we go. I don't know if you guys saw that, but picking the cookie up tall, right, is what I can use to set him a little straighter. If you want your dog all the way on the thing, you want to pay up high. Right. Whew. Let's see. Here, I'll read a little bit. I'll read a little bit of what I tried to write today. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. I'll pick something. It's kind of cool. I put the that AI thing in my intro. Super fun. All right, let's see. Move this. All right. Let's see. I want to talk about the concrescent sequence. And we'll do the stuff that I wrote today. I don't know how it's going to go. So, all right, let's do it. So playing the game. All play happens in the complex domain. In this domain, prediction and substantive analysis is impossible until after the fact. We cannot know what's going to happen or exactly how it's going to go down until it has happened. That is the nature of unordered systems. If you've never done this thing before, you won't know how to do it until you try something. In the complex domain, the first thing to realize is that the opening move between dog and handler will always be a safe-to-fail probe that dog or handler thinks fits the subjective tone of the situation. This is vital intelligence in the pursuit of play and within this process philosophy of play. Probe, who's got the initiative? This is the mode of operation in the complex domain. Maybe it should be the method of operation in the complex domain. The subject with the initiative of play offers a safe-to-fail probe to see what happens. Recognition of this process and the long tail of behavioral logic that shakes out is critical. Who has the initiative within this game or this round of play? Who is leading? Is the dog simply trying to make things happen, or is the dog working the handler to make something happen? This is great to know and easy to play along with if you caught the intelligence briefing the other day. What do the subjects engaged in play think the subjective tone should be? Is the dog's safe-to-fail probe a bit too boisterous? It's a clear signal telling the handler the tone of the game the dog expects to play. If the handler scares the dog with the intensity of the cue or the consequent response, the tone was probably a bit too much. The dog-handler team nexus needs to meet where dog-handler and team are at. What does the dog think is activating the handler? Is the dog working the handler? Does the handler have to call the dog? All of these questions have to do with the flipped initial action requirement of doing things in the actual world. Action is required to get things going. A safe-to-fail probe is safe to fail for a reason. These probes should lead dog handler and team to a few conclusions and default behaviors. Giving attention in the absence of a task or dismissal for the next cue is how the dog activates the handler, which becomes the most useful default behavior. Attention is how the team establishes the initiative for play. I'll go ahead and stop there. But I wrote a bunch of that shit today. And it's probe, sense, and respond. The response, leveraging the behavior, I think is pretty cool, right? Like when you respond, you want to lean in on a, what? What is that? Oh, that's funny. Boom. You want to lean into the process, right? When we play, the we decide, okay, we're going to do this thing, and I do the thing, and it doesn't go as planned, and now I'm like, what the fuck happened, right? And now I have to, on the fly, figure out what to do. If I have a form or some sort of process, right? If I have a form or some sort of process, then I rely on the process to organize it, and I have to do like little pieces of thinking to stay on track. Does that make sense? You follow me? The idea that I'm not always, I'm letting the rules of the game tell me what my available plays are. If you don't have any rules of the game, any process, you don't have that process, you don't have any, like, you gotta make crazy decisions all the time. If you're playing within a process, a form, a game of sorts, right? There are rules to that you push your behavior and your actions into. And I want to lay that out for people, because I think everybody struggles with that. Well, what should I be doing? And then they start doing something, and because it's crazy, it's play, and it starts to fall off the rails, you do this and you do that, and now all of a sudden you're not connected to anything. Right? So leaning into that process within the response in this domain, right? The complex domain, when we're actually playing with our dog, what we do first is we probe, then we sense, then we respond, right? And that probe, sense, respond is it's how we work. It's how we work. The dog is always throwing off probes. The handler is always fielding probes, right, and responding. The handler is throwing off a probe. Hey, are you ready? And then the dog responds to that probe. We don't go out there with a list of rules and go. It doesn't work like that. So I'm trying to figure out how to kind of help people gamify that. And I think I'm pretty close. I think I got it laid out. It's the process that you want to fall into. The process being a form or whatever, right? A form or a sequence of the game. All right. Right? We're shoe salesmen. We got shoes. I'm gonna make some other colors. I'm gonna buy a bunch of them, I think, and just have a bunch of different colors. So there'll be new colors coming. Right now it's just the blue. I'd like to get a bunch of different colors. I think that would be cool. All right. The Hannibals in 1992, regional band in Michigan. They opened up for the Pixies a couple times. Such a cool band. We used to go see them at Martini's, college days. College IDs and college days and fake IDs. All right, so what are we gonna do? King, you certainly are a very nice man. Whoa, dude. Are you kidding? Chill. Good job. All right. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, it's crazy. Old people. Hey, mama said, hey, 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 hey. My mama said, hey, hey. Hey, mama said, hey, 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 hey. Yep, pretty cool, man. Pretty cool. So I'm gonna wrap up here in the next 15 minutes. You guys got anything? Antonis, you got anything you want to see? Anything we need to work on? Antonis, the version of the book that I sent you will be pretty new. Should be pretty good actually through probably 25 pages, 30 pages. So it's getting closer. And Byron, I'll get you one sometime soon when I have something that I think is not crazy or has most of the crazy stuff removed. I think there's something weird with the editing on Pages. I'm doing it in Apple Pages. And I keep winding up with, like, I couldn't have written that. I misedited. So there's something about the editing process that happens sometimes, I think. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna, it's a dog training book, right? So it's not DiscDogs. I actually think it's a pretty good book, actually. So I'd like to publish it on a real scale. I'd like to shop it around and see if I can get it published. I think it's pretty interesting. It's definitely. I'm gonna get burned at the stake in a Skinner box for it. Gonna get burned at the stake in a Skinner box. It'll be great. It'll be great. But yeah, plan is to sell the book to dog people. Try and get it like really published, not just me publishing it. And I'll probably publish it first, although I don't know, it's pretty kooky. That's what we're talking about with the so the new stuff in. I can tell you in the book, yeah, totally, right? Dog training heresy. So the playing the game part, page 57, right? That the second part of Knephen, you're gonna want to take a look at that, and it's. There are two pieces that were rewritten. So essentially patterns, moving things around the map. So you want to do your form and you want to try things within the form that maybe you thought about or you would like to have happen, pull a little further, cue the drop later, all this stuff. When you're doing your pendulum, this would be like a normal pendulum, right? It's right out there, smack dab in the middle of the field. Maybe you do one that is driving the dog out, right? You're driving. That's a pain in the ass. I don't like that. You're driving the dog out. You're driving the dog out here, right? Hang on, this is bullshit. This bullshit. One sec, I'm gonna open it up in Adobe. Page 40. All right, we'll do it this way. All right, so we got this out here, right? When you throw out to this one, that's a normal pendulum, right? Maybe you adjust the distance or your timing. Maybe you try something different with your movement, with your positioning. Maybe you I don't know, try to do it really well, right? Maybe over here, you drive her out, right? You send her around and drive her out on both sides, right? But what happens is you do the form with different focuses and it moves around the map, right? And now you have experience having done those things, right? When you do the form and you do it just like you're supposed to do it all the time, and you focus on trying to do it on this side of the map, right? You only get this. And then anything that's not this is fucking weird, dude. It's totally weird, right? But when you do it like this, and then you do it with crazy throws, right? You do it with I don't know, longer distance. You change the drop location. As you choose these different criteria or focuses or intents within the form, you'll experience different aspects of doing it. And then those things will be available to you. Once those things are available to you, right, then what you want to do is select one of them and work it, right? Or just apply it to your normal performance. Does that make sense, Antonis? You following me? What you've got going on is the form being done here, and then done here again, and then the form getting better, and doing it again, and the form getting better, and doing it again, and the form getting better, and doing it again, and we can drop it in the proofing funnel, and everything's fucking great. But it's not, because you've only done one thing. You want to use the forms to spread out the game and to experience turning early, to experience losing your dog, to experience making crazy throws, right? To experience doing it correctly. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm writing about that right now. So you have moving things around, right, which I just mentioned, and the rising tide, all the blue dots lifting the whole game, and the arrow to the target. You've got the arrow to the target of doing the form. You're already doing the form, dude. You know, with constants, you're already doing the form. You want to explore the form, find these dots, figure out what goes into doing them, have your dog hit these dots as well, and know how you're going to respond when it happens. The team have hit this, right? And so the team know these things. The next time you're confronted with them within the normal version, you have those eternal objects from your experience and the positive prehension from having done them well and in play, right? Not this fucking steady march, this stressful march up there, right? And then you'll like to do them, you'll have experience doing them well, and you'll have a variety of experience. And that's what you miss when you go after the goal. That's what you miss when you fucking have eyes on the prize and I want the form. You have to do this initially. Or at some time, you have to do that, right? But that's one piece of the process, and it should either be where you start or where you're winding up. Like you should start there and lay it out. This is how it's going to go. Awesome, let's do this. Yep. And then you're going to use your clear concepts, right? Let's say we're doing the form. We're doing the form, we're doing the pendulum form, right? We're doing the pendulum form. I get comfortable. I've done it all around here, everything's cool. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come down here into the concrete, into the clear, attention, dismissal, targeting, weight, and triggered, right? I'm gonna apply these behavioral concepts I'm going to interject them into my work over here. And I'm going to focus on them within it. And I'm going to draw attention to them at critical moments while I'm playing. With my marker, I send the dog around, the dog goes around, I pose, they look in, yes, boom, pow, right? That becomes something that we can bank on. And then when I'm competent with the form, I'm doing the pendulum, yes, boom, everything's awesome. I've been all over the map, right? I send the dog around, yes, and the dog looks in, yes, I grab that behavioral concept and I work from there. And now I'm interjecting those concepts, facts, things, and processes into my game. And they're the things that are powering the game. They're the gates the dog has to go through in order to earn next. They're the satisfaction points, right? But that's what I'm trying to write actually right now, Antonis. Like, how actually do we do this? Mini goals. The goals being a parent and having mini goals, really important within what you're talking about, right? And right now, the form is such a big thing. You need to look at those mini goals throughout the form. Attention, yes. Around, yes. Catch. Dog looks in, yes. Throw. Dog catches, yes. I don't care about the catch. Out, yes. Around. Dog commits, yes. I pose. Dog looks in, yes. Bang. Dog catches, yes. Dog reorients, looks at me on the reorientation. Yes, great job, get around, consequent cue. Yes, boom. Dog looks in, yes, I hit the dog across for the big leap in the finish. Woohoo, session done. What happened? We did the form, just the pendulum, but what we did was we did the process throughout the form, and we drew attention to the behavioral concepts that I need to have happen, and that are operant at the mental pole and within our actual play, and I worked the shit out of them. When we come up for that in the future, it's going to be obvious that's what we should be doing. When I do ba 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 and I send the dog around and the dog's going to look in. And I'm going to say yes, and I'm going to hit the dog. Right? We want to use the basic frameworks that we have to grab the behavioral concepts and facts and use them to create our mini goals and our clear goals in order to flow. That also allows us to provide immediate feedback. The clarity of the feedback is perfect. The marking of behaviors allows this to happen. We can recognize and we can ensure that the challenges are matched. We know that we can succeed. The opponent or a partner is balanced. We can set up a Goldilocks challenge. This will be addictive. It's easy to have a single focus. We don't have a split attention, right? We're focused on doing the pattern, pulling behavioral concepts out of the thing. It's working. I don't have time to be thinking about other things. Right? Those are the four things that need to happen with flow, or for flow. And they all come from this process of pulling things out of the complicated domain and applying them to the process. This is what I want. We pull the behavioral concepts out of the clear domain. Come on. We pull the behavioral concepts out of the clear domain. We put them in our process over here. And we try and do unique and novel things with them. Initially, right now, everything's unique and novel. You try and move the dog, Antonis. It's unique and novel. Try it and see what happens. Probe, sense, try it, see what happens, sense. When you see what happens, respond. Do that again, don't do it again. Try it the other way. See if it works the way that you think it works. Now we're playing around out here. Right? Everything is about that. And it fits the flow, and it fits within building eternal objects and firing from the physical to mental pole. And it fits within the seeking system activating play, because we have all these objects lying around that deal with play. Like, we're golden, man, on all four of these kind of pillars of what we've got going in this phenomenal philosophy of play, right? All of these pillars are rocking within that. There you go. Gonna knock it off. Look at that. We are right on time. Let me thank our patrons real quick. This would not be happening without our patrons. Right? Antonis is a patron. Byron's a patron. Alicia is a patron. Thanks a bunch. Wouldn't be happening without you guys. You'll get a publishing credit in the book here. I'm going to make sure I have that together. You will get a publishing credit. That's pretty exciting. And yeah. So I'm going to play us out. Special thanks to Hero Disc USA. And I don't know, we don't really have another sponsor. Go Team Hero. Hope we did good at UpDiff. I'm going to play us out with a meme roll number 18. Wonder if the closing reel is set up. Where is it? Hide controls. Hang on, I have a closing reel. I thought. Apparently I don't. I will in a second. I will by the time this closing reel is done. All right. See you guys sometime soon. Meme roll number 18 to play us out. Take care, guys. Slacker Sunday. Good work, CupCake. Good work, Kingaling. See you, Cheese. Have a good one, man. Good luck in the business world. Woohoo! Whoa, you guys. What? It's okay. Nothing's happening. I don't know why you're excited. Don't be excited, CupCake. Right on. Yeah, and hit me up about a good evening, Byron. We'll try and get a different evening class. See if we can't get some fresh blood into class that way. Frisbee fish, world champion. That's epic. The frisbee fish. What you guys doing, huh? I know, you guys are all so loyal. I know, everybody very loyal. There's a reward prediction error on that, wasn't there, Epi? There was. All right. Darth Yeppo. Whoa, you guys.